Hey Eagle fans! Due to the recent popularity of the Decorah Eagle's Nest Cam, I thought it might be a good idea to put out a simple little tutorial to help some of those new folks that are looking for the differences in mom and dad eagle. So let's go ahead and get started. I went ahead and put up a split picture here so you could see the both of the eagles together. We got mom on the left and dad on the right there. First thing I notice when I take a look at the eagle on the nest is I take a look at the color of the head. Obviously they're both white, but Dad's white feathers are definitely a whole lot more brilliant. Another thing you'll notice right off is the size. Mom is 30% larger, and that's typical of all eagles. The female is typically larger than the males. And so when she goes to do her shimmy, she can really shimmy. She's got a lot more to move there. The next thing I take note of is Mom has what we call this gray eyeshadow is what we call it. She's got gray feathers around her eyes, and it makes it look like an eyeshadow there, and that's a pretty distinct difference between the two. And Dad has what I call the guy liner. He's got eyeliner around his eyes. It's a black circle that outlines his eyes, and it really makes his eyes pop. And then Mom also has this protruding brow. It's quite exaggerated compared to Dad's. It's a lot deeper. Her eyes are inset a little deeper, and the brow goes back a little further than Dad's does, quite a bit further actually. And so it almost makes her look like she has more of a menacing look, a mean look on her. But it's just that brow is so pronounced. And Dad's eyes just pop because of that black circle around his eyes. Another quick difference is if you take a look at the mandibule or the beak, the back of the beak of the mom, it actually reaches almost all the way to the back of the eyeball. Dad's is nowhere near back as far. In fact, it's more towards the front part of the eye. Just doesn't go back as far. Now maybe it's because Mom is bigger, and I believe she actually has a bigger beak, and that may be because she's a larger bird. But it seems like it goes out further than Dad's. It goes further down than Dad's. Sometimes that's a little difficult to tell the difference, especially when they're not together. Another one is Dad's beak is more of an orange color, and Mom's is almost a pale yellow. But once again, that has to do, or that is kind of difficult to see sometimes because of the different lighting and shadows. And obviously these pictures here have different lighting situations. But and then the last thing I wanted to point out was if you look at under Dad's right eye, he's got this little black dot, and that's actually, you can see that for quite a ways away. And if you look for that little dot under the right eye, if you see that, you know for sure that that's Dad. Let's go ahead and take a look at these eagles separately. Okay, we're going to start off with Dad here, and right away the first thing you notice is that bright white, brilliant white color of his head. I mean, it just glimmers in the sun. The next thing you notice is that guy liner. There it is, that black outline around his eye. Like I said, that really makes his eyes pop. And then there's that mandibule that doesn't go as far back. It's towards the front of the eye. And once again, we've got the black spot that in this picture I guess is a little close, so it's not as noticeable. But look at that. There's no black in that top of his head at all. It's just as bright white as can be. So that kind of takes care of Dad. I mean, what a good-looking bird. Now we got Mom, and right away you notice that gray eyeshadow. Just stands out there. Just dark shadow under the eye, and then that mandibule Goes way back towards the back of the eye and really stands out there. And as she turns to face us here, you'll notice that she still has quite a few dark feathers on the top of her head here. Let's see if she turns. There we go. So you see these dark feathers. That just makes it so it's not quite as white as Dad's. And it really stands out. There, you can really see the gray eyeshadow. And she's got that mean look to her. Just that grimace, and it's because of that protruding brow more than anything. Really makes her get that glare. All right, now we got both of them side by side, and we got Mom on the eggs here and Dad standing up. First thing you notice is the size of Mom. I mean, she really takes up that nest. She really fills that bowl there with her size. Next thing you notice is her eyeshadow right underneath there, and that protruding brow. That's the biggest distinctive feature. And then on Dad is the guy liner. There is that circle around there, and you can actually see that little black dot underneath the eye there. From this distance, it's kind of hard to see where the mandible ends, but I mean, he's also got a sleeker head. It's not quite as big because he's not as big of an eagle. It's more aerodynamic, I guess, and I think some of that has to do because of her pronounced brow that she has, that exaggerated protruding brow that she has. So when you take a look at this picture, it's when they're side by side here, it's really easy to tell what the difference is between them. And it just takes a little practice, and you'll learn. So let's say bye to Dad. All right, there goes Dad, and now we got just Mom sitting there. Now let's go ahead and take a quick quiz here. I'm not going to tell you right away who this is, but there's some clues. I mean, look at the eyes, you look at the coloring, the size. When you take a look at all that, who would you say this is after that little description? Now we've changed. Now we've got the other one. And when you look at that eye and the coloring, yeah, you're right. That's Dad. Yep, he's got that guy liner happening there and that bright white head. So now you can see how easy it actually is to tell the difference between Mom and Dad. So now the next time that you flip on the web stream, you'll be able to take a look at it and say, oh yeah, that's definitely Dad. Yeah, I can tell that right away because of the guy liner, or because the little black spot there, or the little, how the beak doesn't go as far back. Lots of reasons. Hopefully that helped you out, and you'll be able to tell the difference between the Mom and Dad now.